Hello, and thank you so much for joining me. My name is Sharon Rogers, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Wells, Maine, and this is my buddy Crash, who keeps me company when I'm stamping. Every second and fourth Tuesday of the month, I bring you a free online class. Now, that's generally true, and this is the fourth Tuesday of the month, but I actually did a Tune-In Tuesday on the 1st and 3rd of the month during this month. I don't know what happened. I just got discombobulated. But last week I mentioned I'm going to get back on track and I'm going to offer a Tune-In Tuesday when I'm supposed to on the 4th Tuesday of the month. And so here I am. Now this is going to be a little bit different. Generally, my online class is free to watch, but if you'd like the card kit that goes along with it, then you simply place an order of $35 or more in my online store and I send it to you for free. Tonight, I am just giving you a sneak peek into my monthly card club. There will be no kit that goes out. I've already done my club. I've put that to bed, except I'm showing you now in case you would like to participate in June's Stamp Club. I am opening it up so that it's not just an in-person club, it will also be a virtual one as well. So at the start of June, usually around the first week or so, I publish a sneak peek of the coming month's class, like the one that you're seeing here. And then I have people sign up for the class. If you are an in-person Stamp Club member, that means you are committing to either paying $20 the night of the class, or you're going to place an order of $25 worth of merchandise that night at the class and get the class for free. So $20 just to come play, or $25 worth of merchandise and you get to come play. For my online club members, you will need to either pay the class fee in advance, or you will need to place an order of $30 or more by the date of the class. It's a little bit higher for my online and virtual crowd because I do have to pay to ship the kit to you. What's the kit contain? It will contain the consumables that you need to create 2 of each of the 3 cards, and it will include envelopes. Now, I can't send stamped images in the mail, and so if you don't have the stamps that go along with the projects that I create, you can just substitute what you do have. I will, however, do the die cutting as long as the die cutting isn't an image specific. So if I'm stamping and die cutting an animal image, I won't do the die cut for the animal image. You'll have to do that if you have that bundle yourself. But if it is a circle or a square or a deckled rectangle, I'll send that as part of your kit. So let me go ahead and get started with an example of what your virtual card class would look like. For this first card, I'm bringing in the Spotlight on Nature bundle. Now the bundle, which contains the stamp sets and some dies, the dies do not necessarily go with just Spotlight on Nature. They're circle dies, they go with anything, but they're decorative circle dies and they're nesting. I've already gone ahead and used this largest circle and cut it out of basic white. I'm going to bring in the flower stem and stamp that in Memento Tuxedo Black. And let's see, let's go ahead and put that right here, I think. A little bit off to the left. There we go. And then we're going to bring in the butterfly from that set and stamp that right up in the upper portion here. And let's see, let's go like this. There we go. I'm going to bring in my blends and do some coloring. This isn't going to be monochromatic, but it's almost monochromatic. I just want to do the stems in the Shy Shamrock, so that's what makes it not monochromatic, because I'm bringing in a color other than the peach pie. Now this stamp design has lots of kind of lines with shading in it already, so I don't feel like I really need to bring in both the light and the dark to create some depth here. I think just coloring with the, I think this is the light one. Yeah, the light Shy Shamrock will be enough. All right, I'm going to bring in my peach pie and begin with the dark and just color along the base here of all my flowers. I'll probably go ahead and color in some of the butterfly wings as well. Let's come back in with the light. I'm just going to bring in a little bit more. I'm not coloring the whole thing. I'm just adding a little bit of shading up here. So some of the flower stays white. Obviously, if you want to color the whole flower, you can. And maybe I'll just make it not quite so smooth. I have a little bit more of a jagged edge. Follow the lines here. There we go. And then I'll fill in the rest of the butterfly. There we go. All right, I'm going to set that aside. We're going to bring in our card base. This is a card base that is 4 1/4 by 11, and I've scored it in half at the 5.5 inch mark. Then I'm bringing in a piece of the In Color Designer Series paper, and I can choose either side that I want. I think I like this side better. It is cut to 4 1/4 by 5.5, so it covers up that whole front of the card base. All right, let me get my little glue boogies out there. Okay. There we go, the whole front is now covered. I have a piece of peach pie ribbon that I'm going to slip through the inside. I'm going to tie in a bow. And this ribbon is, let's see, 13 plus 6, about 19 inches, 18, 19 inches. Tie this in a bow. And I'll want to put this off to the side as much as I possibly can get it. Okay, so here we go. Here's my little bow. Play with the ends till you have it the way you like it. I'll trim this. And again, I want to put that right over to the side as much as possible. This is going to go right over the top, but you see how it's sort of the bow, the knot of it kind of interferes. What I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to cut a little notch in here. And then that will rest right in there. And my bow will go right over the top and nobody will even know that there's a little notch cut out there. And we're going to affix this with some dimensionals. You know what? I'm going to slide this up just a little bit. I want to move it a little bit higher to the top. Maybe not that high. That's good, I think. And make sure this is down firmly. And our ribbon is off over here. We're going to take a little strip of pumpkin pie. Not pumpkin pie. Peach pie. One of those pies. We're going to bring in one of the sentiment stamps from that stamp set, and this is the Dear Friend one. I'm going to ink it up also in Memento, so it's just one color ink that we're stamping with. We did have to color with some others. Stamp that right on there. There we go. Angle cut the ends, trying to get the angles about the same. Now when I adhere this, I'm going to adhere this right here, and you'll notice that some of it sticks off, and because the white has been raised, we're going to put a little bit of dimensional right under this edge so that it'll stay elevated, and attach the rest of it with glue. We'll have this effect going on right here. And now all there is left to do is to take some rhinestones. These are the basic rhinestone jewels. And we'll put some on here. So one right here. Remember, you want to go in sets of 3. Maybe another one right here. And our last one. Let's go with, can't pick that one up. Okay, well, you can see that I positioned the last one here, and then my phone died, so I had to charge it. Now we're going to turn our attention to the inside. I just have a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 basic white, and I have a strip of that designer series paper that we had cut down for the front. I'm just going to glue that across the bottom. Of course, if you wanted to stamp a little more inside, you could. Let's see, I can't see. This pattern is hard to see if the glue is coming out. There we go. We'll put this just right above here. And I hadn't trimmed this piece down. So there we go. And then that just gets glued in here. I think, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna put anything else in there. This is just going to be a note that I can write to a dear friend. If you wanted to put happy birthday on the inside or some other sentiment based on the occasion, of course you could do that at any time in just black, and that would work. And there is our peach pie pretty card. There was, of course, another strip, the other end of the designer series paper that we can just take a little sliver off from. This is just a 1/2 inch wide piece, and we'll adhere this to the edge of the envelope. I like to leave a little white strip over here too. Just snip this off. And I think I need a little bit more glue on the end here. Make sure it's secure. For our coordinating card and envelope. For this card, this is using a technique called double time. You can also make it triple time, but basically you're using one layer and giving the appearance that you have designer series paper in the back and then you have a separate piece in the front. But really this piece right here comes from this back piece. If I were to take off this layer, you would see a hole underneath in this designer series paper. We're going to, this was using the Thoughtful Journey designer series paper, but it also works with this designer series paper, Meandering Meadows, from our online exclusives. Your first step is to cut this down to 4 inches by 5 1/4, and you want to identify which area you want to keep for your card. So if I looked at 4 inches, that would give me this section right here. If I looked at 4 inches from the other side, and you'll have to look at it upside down, you can see that area would be. And that's sort of putting our window sort of in between everything. So I think I'm going to go with this first one that I wanted, 4 inches. And then we need to make it 5 1/4. So are we going to get rid of some of the clouds and sky or some of the flowers down below? We need to get rid of 3/4 of an inch. So let's see how much of the sky we'll have. I think what I will do is I'm going to get rid of 1/2 of an inch off the top and 1/4 of an inch off the bottom. So kind of taking from both places. And that is going to be our base designer series paper. I'm mounting this on a piece of thick basic white, but before I do that, I need to cut from in here. I'm going to bring in the deckled rectangles, and I've already die cut from fresh freesia because it goes with the clouds here. And I want one that is just smaller than that. So not that one. That one's too small. So we'll be die cutting with this rectangle right here. From wherever in here we want. We can put it over to the left side. We can put it to the right side. I think I am going to put it right here. That's where I'm going to focus my die cutting so that I can keep my edges fairly straight. I'm going to just adhere this down with some washi tape. We'll bring in our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And remember you want to angle it a little bit so that the flat side of that die doesn't go through the edge all at once. Just softer on your machine if it gradually goes through. You didn't hear any big pop there. Now remember, you're keeping all of this. They're just in two separate pieces now. All right, let's move my plates. Let's bring in that other layer here. We're going to adhere these two together. Back side of this paper is also lovely. Now, if you don't have the deckled rectangles, you can certainly just use your paper trimmer to cut inside. And to do that, you would want to determine what size rectangle you wanted, and then you would just pick this up and put the cutter down where you wanted to cut the length. And then you'd want to do it on the other side, noting, the starting and stopping dimensions. So you can cut this out with a paper trimmer, but it is a whole lot easier with dies. That is for sure. All right, let's go ahead and get our card base back in here. We'll fold it and burnish it. And we'll attach our bottom layer of DSP. There we go. And then this layer, we're going to decorate this layer a little bit first. I'm going to take some of this twine, and this twine came in a 3-pack. Let me see if I have it handy for you. I do. It is the Baker's Twine 3-color pack, and there's a yellow and a blue and a corally kind of color. And this blue goes nicely with the blue that is in the paper. I'm going to wrap this around a couple times. Let's make this a little bit longer here. Oh, I think it is long enough to go the other way. Let's see. One, two, three. And then I think we can tie this in a bow. And I don't know if you can hear that in the background. My husband's watching a sci-fi movie. Sorry about that. The room is not soundproof, that's for sure. And now you can slide this to wherever you want that bow to be. I think I want it to be on the side here. So I'm just going to move that over just like that. Right, now we can pop this up on dimensionals. And we're going to center that right over there. Now, what I'm trying to do is make it look like it's a continuous piece. So see how I've got these mountains in the back and this lake right here. I want to make that as continuous as possible. I mean, the eye is fooled even though it's being broken up by this fresh freesia. But that's what I've got. I'm going to take, I will need this. I'm going to now take just a little strip of basic white, and you all have plenty of this, I'm sure. And we're going to stamp a sentiment. I'm going to grab the sentiment from Translucent Florals. There's "You're the best. Happy birthday. Congratulations. Wishing you all the happiness in the world." And I have a bridal shower to go through or go to next weekend. So I will use congratulations. And let's bring in the fresh freesia. There's a number of colors I could bring in for this, but I'm going to bring in the fresh freesia to go with that background. And just stamp that right there. Let's see. Oops, I caught an edge. So let me redo this again and stamp straight down and straight up. I can just flip that over, or I have another piece here too, so let's try it again. Straight down, straight up. Straight down, straight up. Oh, there we go. And this is going to go right here. I'm going to just take this end right here and angle cut it. Just one end. I think I do want this bow. I do want it a little bit further over, I think. I'm going to take my chances and untie it and retie it. See how it goes. See how it goes. Yeah, that's all right. That worked out okay. I just need to trim one of the ends. That's why I don't trim the ends until I've got it where I know I want it. I'm just going to put this right above. And again, this part hangs off. So I'm going to put a little dimensional over there just to boost that side of it. And I'm going to use glue on the other side just to anchor it down a bit. And then this is just going to go, and I'm bringing this white all the way to the edge. There we go. Just like that. There we go. And we can add some bling or not. I don't think I added bling on these in the class. Let's go ahead and cut a 3/4 inch strip here. 3/4 by 5.5. This will be our piece for the inside. That back side really is pretty of this. Put this right in here. And I will write a lovely little note inside to the bride-to-be. Now, you know what? Because this is a bridal card, going to a woman for sure, let's go ahead and bring back our lovely little gems here, and we'll put them on in just a few places. Let's see. Odd number, right? So maybe there's one down here, and there is one up here, and probably one up here. There we go. Just add a little bling, a little sparkle to her day. And again, we can take this and decorate the envelope. Because I'm handing it to her in person, I'm okay with this being a little bit wider. I will need to cut it down, but let's go ahead and just put some adhesive right up all along this edge. There we go. I'll just flip it over and trim it. And again, we have a color coordinated card and envelope. This last card was the fan favorite of the night, I believe. We're going to take the Leaf Collection stamp, which is a background stamp, which means it's the largest we have. Mounted on this large block. Now, do you need a block? Probably not. I could have just adhered it to my glass mat here and inked it up like I'm going to do right now. What I want to do is I want to put this design on the back or on the front of 3 strips: a peach pie, a pretty in pink, and a petunia pop. So the three of the ink colors. I could ink that in peach pie, that in pretty in pink, and that in petunia pop. But what I'm going to do instead, so I don't have to keep inking and cleaning, is I'm going to ink with Versamark. So Versamark is used for embossing, but it's also able to act as a tone-on-tone ink. I'm going to turn this, then I'm going to simply lay my strips down. Once I've got them laid down, I'm going to take a piece of scratch paper and just rub over the top. This is going to give you a very subtle imprint, almost like a watermark on your cardstock. And you can probably see it best on this one. I can see it on the other ones, but it may be a little bit harder to see on the camera for you. I'm going to bring in a piece of thick basic white. And these 3 layers are going to get set down on my card. Now, I personally would start on the edges here and just see what I could do. I'd probably want to make sure that, you know, all 3 of these edges are the same, and then maybe all 3 of these edges are the same, and then put the middle one in the middle. But those are, I think, a little too far apart, so I'd move them in a little bit. But I usually just play with them before I put them down, just so that I have an idea of where I'm gluing them before I glue them. So I'll take this one up with the others still in place, sort of. The other thing you can do is sort of use your grid sheet that's right here, or if you have a grid sheet instead of a glass mat, you can do that. But I almost always do the last 2. I glue the last 2 at the same time because that's going to remain a little bit wet. And then I will sort of put this in place lightly. Looks like it's about the same as the other one. I'll do that here as well, putting this right smack dab in the middle, and then adjust because this glue is going to allow me some wiggle room. That looks pretty good, I think. Whoop, it wiggled a little too much on me. There we go, this one. All right. So there we have. Don't those colors look yummy together? Oh, I love them. Now, so that was one technique, was this tone-on-tone look that we've got going on. If I bring it closer, I think you can see a little bit better. Now I'm going to take a bit of a wider strip of just basic white, and this measures 5 1/4 by 1 1/4. And I'm going to take my blending brushes. I've got 3 blending brushes handy here, one for each of the colors. I'm going to begin with my peach pie. And I'm just going to start blending in here. It doesn't have to be, you know, an evenly crisp layer. It can have a bit of a mottled effect to it. And then I'm going to bring in my Pretty in Pink and blend that in. And so the colors mix a little bit where they overlap, which is what I'm going for. And then I'm going to bring in, yep, the Petunia Pop. These brushes are still loaded with ink from the class, so I am kind of brushing them off a little bit first. And I'll bring that in, and for the final color, I make it a little bit deeper, and then I blend it a little bit more softly in there. And so this was one of the hits, having that kind of ombre effect. Really, really pretty. All right, let me put my inks away. And now I have a smaller piece of basic white. Oh, and I need to clean this up before I get stuff in it. So I'm going to just take the chamois that comes with my Glass Mat Studio and wipe that clean. Set that out of the way. This particular piece of basic white measures 4 3/4 by 3/4 of an inch. And I'm bringing in the Thoughtful Expressions stamp set for this Enjoy Your Day. You know, this one would have made a lovely card for a bridal shower as well, I think. But this is also a nice birthday sentiment, isn't it? I'm going to go ahead and bring in the peach pie. You could use any one of these 3 colors here. I kind of like the peach pie. And I'm cheating it to the right a little bit. Ah, caught an edge again. So sometimes the stamps are cut out within the tolerance that's okay. Like it's not cutting any images off, but sometimes one edge is a little bit thicker than the rest. And so let me just clean this for a second. Let me show you what I do when that happens. I take my scissors and I just trim them a little bit more. Being careful not to trim into the word itself. You know, way back when Stampin' Up, when I first started with Stampin' Up and when they first started, you had to trim all your stamps. They didn't come die cut for you, where you had to pop them out. You actually had to trim around them with scissors. There we go. That's better. I also took care not to rock it as well. I'm going to trim this in. I'm going to make this a banner. I'm going to flag both ends. So I typically cut up the center and then I cut in from each end. I'm going to do about the same on this side. Okay, there we go. So there we have our sentiment here. And we're going to mount this on here, but before we do that, I'm going to bring in a piece of basic white Baker's Twine Essential Pack. Oh, not that. I took the white spool out and the black spool is somewhere. I think I have another package. Oh yeah, here I have a package. So you get all these colors. This one, I've run out of white and black in it because those are my 2 favorite. And those are the ones you get more of in there. But let's see, I've got 2 pieces here. I only need 1 piece. And this is about 12 inches long. And all I did was I wrapped this around and I tied it in a bow. Now at the class, some people just kept wrapping it around, and so they had just kind of strands of it in the back, and that was great. You can do it however you want. I just made a really large bow here. I'm going to bring in my dimensionals and put them. Now I don't want to put them where this bow is, so I can put it underneath where the day is, and I can put it a little bit more in the middle. Maybe I'll use a couple more. There we go. I want to make sure my bow ends get seen here, as well as this little guy. We'll put him in just like that. Okay, here we go. And we will adhere this also with dimensionals. Let's go ahead and put another one right here. This goes right along the end. Then the only thing left to do is bling it up a little bit. Sorry for the technical difficulties. My phone seems to have a problem staying charged. But as you can see from the image here, I've added some bling successfully. Now I mentioned that there is no card kit that goes with tonight's class. However, I am in the middle of a mystery box special. So for those who place an order of $75 or more in my online store using the link that is in the description of this video, I will send you a mystery box. And that mystery box has stamps and dies in it worth somewhere between $75 and $90, plus some extra things like partial packages of embellishments or ribbon, card kits that I have left over, or just a bunch of different things. So the value of those mystery boxes is at least probably $100. So I hope that you will take advantage of that, but it is only good through the end of May. Also only good through the end of May is the starter kit special. So with the starter kit, you can order, or you can place an order of $125 worth of anything that you want from the catalog or the online store. And you'll get for free $82 worth of in-color merchandise. One of each of the 5 in-color ink pads, one of each of the 5 in-color Stampin' Write markers, a package of the 6x6 in-color DSP, and a package of the in-color shimmer gems. Not only that, you will get free shipping and a 20% discount at least on all your orders through October. That's a long time to save money. You'll also be part of my team, and I host monthly team meetings and challenges, and we have lots of fun together. So if you have any questions, I welcome them. You can email me at the address that you see on your screen right now. If you know you want to be a part of this great deal and great offer, then simply click on the link that is in the description of this video. I know there's lots of links this week, but that's down below, and you can take advantage of that amazing, amazing deal. I hope you have found tonight informative, and I welcome you, whether you are a customer, not a customer yet, you're a demonstrator. Card classes are open to all, and if you have any questions about those, I welcome them. Have a great rest of your week and a rest of your May, and we'll see you in June.